Hello, Patricia O'Connor here and Frida Reba Darcy. And today I thought that we would take a moment. First of all, happy Friday. It is another uncommonly warm day in the Bay in Alameda today. I am in Alameda, California, about a rock's throw from San Francisco that way, and about a rock's throw from Oakland that way. So you may be watching this video at any time and look at these skies and look at that foliage, and you might think that it is, no, let me just tell you, it's November 26th. It's the day after an American holiday, and I am one of those people who have survived. I no longer have the family members to take me out during the holidays anyway, so that kind of makes it a little bit easier. But the other thing is so far I have made it this far into the Little Drummer Boy challenge without attack or having to lose the challenge of listening to the Little Drummer Boy. Here's what we're going to do today. We're going to talk about this Trident Maple. As promised, I told you that I was probably going to wire a branch, and I did. I am looking at it, and it's going. It probably would have made more sense that rather than bring this line down to that would be an unsightly route, I guess. Instead of doing that, I probably should have brought it over here. In fact, I still might, right here in front of us. But let's take a second and look at my Trident Maple and see what I've got going here. As I mentioned, I called that a chicken's foot. Now, as I'm making this video, I'm thinking that whenever I post this video, I will probably include a photo of this tree in full green leaf. The canopy is down about here, and it just goes up like something like that. And it is just as impressive in the spring, and then in the late fall this year, the colors that this tree turned were a very, very much this color. I saw mostly that color, that kind of that red salmon-y color this year over the whole tree, and that was at the end of August. But here in San Francisco, we have to endure a few little weird things. One, our weather is something to brag about and to laugh at all at the same time. Look at this, it's got buds all over it. This thing turned the most beautiful colors this year, and then by the end of August it gave me those beautiful colors, and it dropped every leaf, and then by October it got super hot again, and all of this really shabby looking green growth is stuff that has come out in a second flush, and it'll get some more 70-80 degree days, and then the rest of the week it'll be fall, and then it'll bounce right back a few days later, more 70-80 degrees. So what you're supposed to do, what little I know about Trident maples, what you're supposed to do is wait until their sap is going really slow to do any, major pruning or cutting or anything like that. And so what I would have to wait for to do any work, and I'm just now, and I think in a prior video, like a couple of videos ago, I was talking to people who were new to the game, and I was saying that you basically had your four things in your beginning to worry about, and that's your water and your light and your nutrients and your preventative medicine. Just get that, and everything else you'll live to fight another day. And if you pile all that stuff on yourself, a lot of times you'll feel rushed, or you'll just have a bad time with it. So what I where I am now with this tree, this was probably a tree that I got my within my first 6 months of getting back into bonsai. And it's just so weird to have all of those fall colors come out and be so beautiful, and then it drop every leaf, and then October come around like Brock Sampson, all guns a-blazing, and then the whole thing just totally leaves out again. So I can't do anything in the way of chopping this back. And what I've learned in the amount of time that I have had it, is I've got my watering down, I've got my feeding down. I've learned a little bit about the leaf pruning and stuff to know that that's probably, well, not probably, I'll just say right now I'm not in a stage in my life where I want to be the type of person that would cut every third leaf or cut every leaf that's left in half. Maybe I'll become that someday, but right now I would rather probably do the work that I'm behind on my ponds or something else. I'll just say it that way, I guess. Anyway, I could see me being that picky about these in the future, but right now I don't want to go that nuts. So I could also, what I've also learned in the amount of time that since I've had this tree, is if I've had it all over to do again, I probably wouldn't buy this tree. It is very pretty when it is in leaf. Right now, seeing it like this, you don't get the benefit of beautiful ramification, because these branches are way too long. For one thing, it doesn't have beautiful ramification, and two, it hasn't been going that long. Look how big these cuts are. I've had the tree 2 years. The person I got the tree from, her name was Kim. She said the tree was 37 years old, meaning that, I guess that means it's 39 years old. She'd had the tree. It was a 35-year-old field-grown Trident Maple. She'd had it for 2 years. That tells me that it was probably in this box, this plant, this bonsai pot, to me tells me a box store. One of those bonsai factories. Took this field-grown Trident Maple, cut those 3 trunks off, let it shoot out a bunch of liters to make a comb over, and then sell them on the mass market. They sold 1 million of these. But here's what. Now that I've had this thing long enough, and I have the watering and I have the feeding, and I see kind of like how you're supposed to do it, I've also been told that you're not supposed to go carving on these a whole lot because they bleed all over the place and leave stains all over their trunks, and they don't heal fast. So yeah. And at the same time, I have these 3 little straight as all get out little trunks here. They're too fat to bend. They are too fat to bend, right? So this would probably be a tree that if you were so excited and went to your bonsai club meeting, or went and saw the instructor on the special night when the special guy was showing up, he'd probably tell you to start with another tree. That's what I think. Maybe that's because I've looked at it for a year, but that's not an attitude it's not really an attitude that I feel like I have to take with this guy. It does have a lot going for it. You can already kind of see it in that shot I'm presenting right there. You can kind of maybe see what I'm thinking, and you can also see what's really wrong with this. There sure is a lot of straight stuff that's not doing anything in the frame right now. But if I were to take this, and as this line goes up, we allow this branch to be part of our new branch, and then we come over here and this guy gets some size and some length to it, then we can get rid of everything above that. What we lose is this branch and its ramification. So 3 years there. Yeah, 3 years there, but it could have been better too. And this amount of rollover if that's 4 years worth of rollover, you know, that's what we would give up there as well. So doing that would give us something where this is coming, that would heal over and come more out of the trunk and then roll down. But then that would still leave these two. Maybe that would be okay, but again, look how long that is. There's hardly any, there's no directional change in that. I started to say hardly any. There is zero directional change in there. That is just as straight as it comes. So, I'm thinking that if we had, if we had a leader come out over here somewhere or over here somewhere, I might get a drill bit this big and go down through this trunk and come out on this back side. And then basically I could take some clippers and just cut that off. That would all have to roll over. And then this would be, it would be a 2 trunk. It would, with a hollow feature. We do have a taper issue. I mean, that's just one thing I've started thinking. But I also have a little bit of a taper issue there because of these 3 trunks. You can see how this side's coming out fine, okay, whatever. But this side's coming out fine, whatever. And then on the front, it's doing that too. It's getting a little busy there. So a marble trader would probably put this back on Craigslist and wait for somebody like me to come along in spring and sell this. But you know what? I'm not known for my beautiful maples. So this is going to be the tree that I enjoy the look of every spring and every summer. And before I figure this out, it may look like, oh, holy hell. But I think I'm probably going to do something drastic in the way of a restyle. And what I'm basically saying is I'm not going to go all willy-nilly and start breaking out my choppers or clippers. That would be probably a great time to do this if it were in other parts of the country. Someplace where November 26th would actually mean snow on the ground or something. And you could be, you could bring this thing in from where you're keeping it in cold storage and maybe work on it. Or maybe just before they bud or something. But for sure, that kind of work is going to be hingent on the tree being in a certain state. And right now, with the weather the way it is, it's still making chlorophyll. It hadn't, if it slowed down, which I think it hasn't stopped for the year. So that kind of work, other people would be doing probably that kind of work in other parts of the country, but here in the Bay, me, not so much. But that's just I just kind of wanted to let you know that I'm not going to look for somebody to pawn this off on. I think that I'm going to find out more about what kind of carving you can get away with on the trunk of a Trident Maple. And I think I'm going to try to utilize this branch so that I can maybe just get something coming up here and doing that rather than just have this straight up. And then we'll get rid of everything above there. Now, this has also occurred to me that this might be a air layering opportunity. Maybe air layer that top, perhaps. Sure, I suppose. Now that is something I suppose I could air layer that top and then bore a hole from here through the bottom of this and then cut and then that goes away, and I've got a rustic feature to carve on that, and I've got this doing the lean style, and whatever would come out on this side would be the new side. So I'm probably going to do something at least as drastic as probably those things I've mentioned, but I will come in contact with the real maple person before I do that, and that could be as simple as going on the internet and trying to find answers to my question that way. But I've already mentioned the fact that the weather is being so weird right now that kind of keeps that from being exactly this time of year for me, even if it would be the time of year. Yeah, that does look a lot better. That bin looks a lot more natural with that wire all over it, Pat. No, I mean the bin was kind of reaching behind itself more the other way, and that looks a lot more natural coming down like that. I like that. So that's kind of my ideas of what I'm going to do. I would like to reduce that 3 down to 2. I would like to utilize this and get rid of anything above there. And I would like to get rid of, I think, that and part of this. And so the way that I'm going to do research is also, this is something good. When I first got into this, I was really looking forward to joining a bonsai club. But we quickly went down into lockdown, and joining stuff was kind of like maybe someday it'll be nice when we can get back to that. And in that amount of time, I have really kind of looked forward and watching videos. I was kind of envious of people who had that group culture going or that club culture going. So since about 3 videos ago, I signed up through a mention of one of us mentioned it. Actually, one of us was a member of the East Bay Bonsai Club, and we meet on I believe second Wednesday of the month, and I signed up on like the third Wednesday, so I get to wait till the bus comes back around again, as they say, for that meeting. But I'll probably go with this guy in tow and see if some of my bonsai elders have ideas on how much hell there would be to pay on some of my harebrained schemes or shenanigans. I'm looking at this branch. I wonder if I could maybe do the same with that and this as I'm kind of thinking there. That's another way to go. And then make that a hollow feature or something. Anyway, so yeah, I'll probably, when I make my first meeting a couple of Wednesdays from now, I will probably bring this little baby with me, and we go and meet in the Oakland Botanical Garden over, I suppose, at the Bonsai Garden in Lake Merritt. Oakland, California has a lake in the middle of town called Lake Merritt, and it has a really nice walk around it, and it has a bonsai garden, which you can probably find online on YouTube from several people. And so that's what I'm looking forward to there. I intended this to be about a 10-minute. We're kind of rolling around at 18, so I guess I'll stop it there. But that is the stuff that I would be carving on if I had already checked with the right people and it were 20 degrees colder, and it had been 20 degrees colder for a couple of months. I would probably be making wood fly. But in the meantime, I'm going to hang out and make my plans and plot and scheme and wait for the weather to turn right and the cycle of this tree to turn right. And whenever I do start carving, I will show you that. But those are my thoughts of what to do with in answer to the question, what do you do with so-so material? I've decided that this is a good challenge. What we do have is the beautiful tree when it's full out with a beautiful canopy. I like the colors that it makes. I like the bark that it makes. I like I think it has a nice trunk. I think down here the Nabari, it could fan out more, but again, that's probably what I would make of it if I just knew more. There's probably potential here to gain some more as well. So that's kind of what we got going on here. Enjoy your Friday. I will drop another I will drop another video before the weekend's out, as I tend to do, and then and then other than that, I'll see you then, and then I'll see you all again on Monday. Like and subscribe if you haven't already. Frida and I really appreciate you, and yeah, thank you so much for watching.